It was my privilege to preach today in Emmanuel Fellowship, and this morning preached on John 14 verse 6, Jesus' words, "I am the way, the truth and the life, no man comes to the Father but by me." And the theme of my message was, it's not complicated, and basically showed how Jesus worked really hard to simplify the gospel, and yet how the church tends to overcomplicate the gospel, and went through a range of ways that we do that, with pride, with tradition, with the cultural influences upon us, fear, our feelings, just a range of things that tend to come in and get mixed up and really leave the gospel in a shadow or in a tangle. And it's so good just now and again to get back to the simple words of Christ, all words of one syllable, apart from one. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the, big word here, Father, only two-syllable word there, but by me. It couldn't be simpler, could it? And yet, I think it's the hardest thing in the world to believe the simplicity of the gospel. It's the hardest thing in the world to believe the simple gospel. So when we're saying it's simple, we're not saying it's easy. In fact, its very simplicity makes it hard. And I think, remember Paul's words in 2 Corinthians 11, he says, I fear for you Corinthians, that just as the devil beguiled, deceived Eve away from the simplicity, so you're being beguiled, deceived away from the simplicity of the gospel. And it's a danger that we all face. So good to get back to the clear, simple, straightforward, direct, challenging words of Christ. And then this evening, preached on Psalm 17, I think it was verse 15 if I remember. I will be satisfied when I awake with your likeness, and spoke about just the prospect of waking in heaven, wakening up in heaven. And the first face you see is Jesus' face. I will see your face. What a moment. It'll be the most loving face we've ever seen in our lives, the most friendly face, the holiest face. And it won't be a strange face, although we've never seen him physically. We'll know him when we open our eyes and see him as he is. And I think even more amazingly, it's not just we'll see his likeness, but we will have his likeness. We'll be made like him, a whole human being. Not yet with bodies, that comes at the resurrection, but to be made whole. Just have our whole personalities made whole, our characters made whole, cleansed from sin. No wonder the psalmist says, I will be satisfied, because that's going to be the biggest satisfaction we've ever had in our lives. And it will never fade, will never decline. We'll keep saying, I will be satisfied. I will be satisfied more and more and more.